Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. I'm Hiral Daria. Joining us on the show today is Yash Mutha, Executive Director at Krsnaa Diagnostics, to discuss about what could be the impact with regards to COVID-19 resurfacing with regards to globally and specifically with China, and how are we prepared in terms of the Indian markets. Welcome to the show, Yash.
Hi, Hiral. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show.
Always a pleasure. Yash, my first question coming to you is last couple of weeks, we have seen a lot of murmurs with regards to COVID-19 resurfacing with China, and that is something which is coming in as a major concern. And we are seeing a lot of political meetings being held at government level. Now, what is your read of the situation currently, if you have to actually look at from a testing perspective?
Sure. So basically, yes, we've been hearing about news, that there have been surge of COVID cases in China. Now, just to give a bit of context here, as a matter of evolution, in due course of time, these viruses mutate themselves, as they survive in their nature, and therefore they create their lineages. To be specific about this BF.7 variant, as we are given to understand, the BF.7 variant is a sublineage of the Omicron sublineage BA.5. As any of these mutants, they surface in the human population, it is going to cause symptoms till we acquire immunity, either through infection or through vaccination. China, which typically had a very strong or the stringent zero COVID tolerance policy, it seems to have backfired there because this new variant is affecting the population which is less immune. So this is something we are seeing as well in terms of why there has been a resurgence in the cases in China.
Mhm. Right. So with that resurgence that's happening right now in China, we've already seen a couple of cases that have come into India as well. What are testing numbers indicating? Are you seeing testing increase?
So, with life normalizing and the COVID restrictions loosening, any such new variant is bound to cause at least a transient surge in the affected population. And it is only therefore that we should not be caught off guard. And therefore, the authorities have basically taken steps, transient steps, to increase the testing, both in terms of the regular testing as well as genome sequencing, to detect any surge in the increase in infection as well as the hospitalizations. So as of now, I think the testing surge is restricted largely driven by the authorities. We are not seeing an increased testing, at the diagnostic players level.
Okay. And any preventive measures or any, preparatory discussions that are happening between the government and diagnostic chains?
So the government has basically, of course, having discussions with players like us, where they've asked us to be, let's say, be ready. Notifications have been issued, but what I've recently read about, in the journal called Cell Host and Micro, the journal points out that this variant is more resistant to the neutralization by the antibodies in humans, and therefore it is, basically spreading rapidly. This variant has been spreading rapidly in the Western countries and China as well. However, no serious increase has been seen in the case of hospitalizations, and therefore, in our opinion, we don't need to panic, but we certainly need to be on guard and keep watching the developments that happen.
Right. Apart from this, overall, if you see from a business perspective as well, even another aspect is where, the flu season has come in early in a lot of nations. India as well has been witnessing some levels of it. What's the testing indicating on that front?
Well, as of now, as I said, we have seen, to a very, I wouldn't say a great extent increase in testing. The testing is as per the routine, normal standards that we expect in around this time of the year. So we haven't seen a significant increase in the testing, because of the new variant or because of increased cases of flu. But of course, yes, we'll have to wait and watch and see how this thing evolves in the subsequent months.
Right. Moving from there on, Yash, from a business perspective as well, how are you expecting the second half of FY23 to pan out now?
Well, we have had cases in the past as well where there were new variants and which were spreading in China and rest of the globe as well. However, from an Indian context perspective, I think the Indian population has remained resilient to such variants, thanks to our population having received 2 doses of vaccine or at least 1 or 2 clinical or subclinical COVID infections. And therefore, I don't see that this variant should be impacting us. And all I can just wish is and pray that we all remain safe and healthy.
Right. So, Yash, that's from a COVID perspective. Now, if you have to take from a company perspective in terms of the second half of the year, we have seen that, during the earnings as well, that there is further improvement expected. But
Oh, yes.
taking the third quarter into consideration so far, what's the trajectory looking like?
Of course, we are looking, improvements in our overall business. The
Mm.
third quarter normally is considered to be a healthy season, across the industry, December and these months. However, I think Q4 onwards we'll start and also seeing an uptick in our business as well. So directionally, yes, I think we are seeing good signs, in our business to come in the subsequent quarters as well as in this Q3 as well.
Right. And from a tendering business perspective, how is that panning out? Because you've already won 5 tenders from Maharashtra, Punjab, Himachal, and Karnataka, right? And there have been
Correct.
additional wins that have come in from HP, Chandigarh, and Uttar Pradesh in the fourth quarter of FY22. What's that pipeline looking like now?
So currently there are a couple of tenders which are in the pipeline, like the state of Rajasthan is one tender as well as Odisha. So these are some of the tenders at which Krishna has participated, or we will be participating. And of course, we are keeping our fingers crossed and taking efforts to ensure that we win these tenders. But of course, as and when the evaluation progresses, we'll get to know what's the outcome of these tenders.
Right. And overall, between the tendering business with the government as well as the B2C side of the business, what's the strategy looking like? Because you've already forayed into B2C as well. 600 collection centers, if I'm not mistaken, is what we
Correct.
already have. So, what's the strategy looking like?
So our focus has always been on public-private partnership space, the PPP space, and that is which constitutes a significant part of our business. Having said that, given that we have a network of 16 states plus 2 union territories and a wide network of CT scans, MRIs, as well as the pathology chain, we thought of leveraging this network, and that is why we decided to foray into the B2C network by leveraging the what we call as a Krsnaa business associate or the franchising model. And we've taken initial steps. We've already signed about 25 odd such franchisees, and currently we are exploring the states of Punjab and Rajasthan as well as Himachal Pradesh, where we'll be launching these franchisees. And I think after the initial trials, then you'll probably hopefully see in like a hockey stick up, where we'll have more franchises getting onboarded. So as of now, it's more in the exploratory stage, while we've set ourselves an ambitious target to achieve 600 franchisees across these 5 states. And I think in the next 2 years, we should be able to achieve that.
Right. So, between the tendering business and the B2C business, what's the kind of mix we are expecting? Where do we stabilize?
So traditionally as well, and in the past, our PPP business used to contribute about 65 to 70%.
Mm.
While that will continue at least for a year, as we have other projects which are currently under implementation. But overall, we have aspirations to bring it down to about 60-40, or ideal ratio would be 50-50, where we have 50% of our revenues coming from the private or the B2C side and 50% coming from the PPP side.
Right. And overall, from a core business perspective as well, any new additions that we're looking at from a strategy perspective?
No, so we continue to focus on radiology, which is our core business, and pathology. These are the two areas which we continue to focus and continue to expand in the various states that we are currently present. We're also working on genomics, so that is an area where Krsnaa is working, and hopefully we'll be launching new services and products in the months to come. And of course, digital integration is something which is key, which Krsnaa is also working on. Given that we have a footprints across so many locations, I think these are the core focus areas that we are working on in terms of business in the next months to come as well.
Right. Another aspect, Yash, I want to explore with you is a lot of companies now, specifically startups, are looking at, exploring medicine and telehealth as a business, right? So, what's your read from a telehealth perspective? Is that something which Krsnaa Diagnostics would actually look to foray into?
Well, I think as of now, we have enough on the plate in terms of the diagnostic centers that we are launching, both like, the Pan India or the states, and also having India's largest telereporting hub that we operate out of Pune, which is operational 24/7. So I think from that perspective, we have already established ourselves to a certain extent in the teleradiology space, and we leverage these technologies. But telehealth is a very different ballgame, in my opinion, and we are currently not looking to enter into that space, where it is more of a treatment. We would love to focus on diagnostics, and that is what we love to do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Yash, for speaking to us and getting us those views as well. And this also comes in as a relief for a lot of viewers who are actually probably panicking at this hour to understand as to what could be the implication with regards to COVID-19 resurfacing. But best is to stay safe as well. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much, Hiren.